One of Vietnam's major principles in foreign affairs is multilateralization, in which ASEAN is a very important element. So through ASEAN, Vietnam can engage with major powers more comfortably and more confidently. So, for example, after normalization of the diplomatic relations with the United States, and before 2003, when the Vietnamese leaders adopted a new thinkings in which they see both competitive and cooperative aspects in other countries. So during that period, the Vietnamese leader had found difficulty in reconciling the need to cooperate with the West and the differences among them in terms of ideologies and political systems. So in that period, through ASEAN, Vietnam continued to work with the United States and its allies under the umbrella of ASEAN. And after, since 2003, Vietnam continued to engage ASEAN and other international organizations in its foreign affairs. And then another example is, how Vietnam used ASEAN to deal with another major power, which is China. So Vietnam and China have good economic relationship and also very close party-to-party relations. However, they have disputes in the South China Sea. So through ASEAN, Vietnam can can address the South China Sea disputes with China through a collective voice. So within ASEAN, member states have diverse interests as well as threat perceptions regarding China in the South China Sea issue. So even though Vietnam, wants to use ASEAN to deal with China in a collective way, but because of that diversity, sometimes it's very difficult to go to a solution. So we know that the Code of Conduct in South China Sea, the negotiation process for the Code of Conduct has been protracted because of that diversity in interest and threat perception. So Vietnam sees maritime security in a very comprehensive way, and ensuring maritime security is important for Vietnam in multiple aspects. First is for its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The second one is to ensure its economic interest and also protecting the marine biodiversity, also important for Vietnam the economic development. So during the Maritime Conference, one of the speakers raised the issue that the South China Sea is more than territorial disputes, but it's also home to many marine species and the source of living for many coastal communities. So before we can address the territorial disputes, I think countries can work together to address those issues first to ensure we have, the living of the coastal communities and biodiversity. In order to ensure or protect maritime security, I think maritime domain awareness is very important. So with a good understanding of what's happening on and under the sea, then the coastal countries can direct their resources effectively and deal with the potential threats more effectively. So for partners of ASEAN, ASEAN dialogue partners, they can help to increase maritime domain awareness through capacity building, technological transfers, that kind of things. So I think for the last few years, Australia and Vietnam has worked closely in terms of maritime security. And I think with the upcoming upgrade, in terms of the upcoming upgrade of the bilateral relations to comprehensive strategic partnerships, I think maritime security continue to be one priority area of the two countries.